This is True Renegade, the Renegade Outlaw, Smoky Mountain's hardcore champion, and you're watching Buster H.R. Johnson here on YouTube. Yeah!
He's hitting against Boris BREZNIKOV, if I believe that. Now, you take a good long look at Boris, who is managed now by Bobby the Brain Heenan, and he will look a lot like Nikolai Volkov, because that is the name that he's wrestling under now.
Well, here I think my father was in 1974. That puts me about a sophomore in high school. I don't really recall this match myself, but I think my dad was weighing here between 320 and 335, somewhere right in that range.
Brute power on both these wrestlers, a collision of two big men. Of course, you've been around wrestling all of your life, being a second-generation wrestler. Geez, look at Larry the Axe. What'd you pick up? All right, you're a sophomore in high school. You've already learned a lot from your father about professional wrestling.
Well, at this time in my career, I was really hard on the... not professional wrestling wasn't so much in my sights as amateur wrestling at this time at Robbinsdale High School. But I always used to go to the matches and enjoy them, and believe me, I watched very close to all of his matches.
Well, he's taking the living daylights of a beating right now, but he'll come back. That was one thing we always admired about your father, was his resiliency. Look at that man go. Now, not only you, a second-generation wrestler, Greg Gagne, like yourself, the former tag team champion. I hate to use that word former, but we have to. Nick Bockwinkel's father, Warren, a great professional wrestler. Second-generation wrestlers, of course, have that big edge, or don't they?
Well, I believe they have that edge. Being around professional wrestling, say some other guys that get into professional wrestling where their fathers weren't in it, I think by being around it, being around the boys and being around the different wrestlers as a young man certainly has helped me in my career this far.
Let's take a look at this match that's in progress now. Again, this Boris BREZNIKOV, or if you want to call him Nikolai Volkov, has been pounding on your father, seems like forever, but now look at Larry the Axe come back.
Believe me, there's one thing about the Axe that I can tell everybody from being his son is that once you get the big man mad, Big Red, you better head the other direction. I don't care how big or how strong you are.
And he's not even following up on the advantage here. He wants this Russian to get up and face him man-to-man. And look at look at BREZNIKOV. He wants out of it. He wants out of it right now. Larry the Axe Hennig. Let's talk about some of the other greats that you may think of that come to mind today with a similar style to Larry the Axe Hennig. Can you think of anyone right off the bat?
Well, you know, my father with his big size, back them days, he was a natural 300 and some 30 pounds here. You know, there's a lot of kids that are big these days, but they're not big in the sense of bulk all over. Their whole body is size-wise, being a 300-pound and distributing that weight all throughout the body without any weak spots. He was just a big, raw man, big barrel-chested, and he still is today. My father, now 50 years old, could still be in professional wrestling, and I wouldn't doubt if I see him back in someday.
Oh, I'm sure we will. All he has to do is have the right motivation. I was thinking of Big Scott Hall, your tag team partner. Reminds me a lot of Larry the Axe Hennig.
Yeah, more or less like a modern-day Larry the Axe Hennig, you might say. Here you're looking at, there's a 300-pounder hitting him in the chest and not even budging him.
Not at all.
And I've also heard it rumored at one time that he used to knock small trees down in the Northwoods of Minnesota with that axe.
I don't doubt it at all. This is one powerful man. Now, let's talk about CURT Hennig for a second here. Your single match motivation career seems to be back on the track.
Well, this film here is so inspiring for me because I've been away from my father in the ring. I've been on my own. I've traveled all throughout the world. And now that I'm watching him back, I'm kind of liking this style. I like the roughness, and I'm starting to bring this more into my style. As a kid, maybe I didn't pay attention enough like I should have maybe to the matches and professional-wise, but now I'm seeing the way that he handled men and what he had to do to success. And believe me, after what's happened with the tag team belts and everything, it's coming out of me, and I'm changing my style a little bit, and I'm going to be a little bit rougher, and I'm going to put that Hennig mean streak on my wrestling career.
I'll tell you, Larry the Axe is showing it here. Now, it's as though he knows that he can stand there. It's as though he just wants to intimidate this man. He's got him down. He's been banging on him for a while. That supreme confidence that Larry the Axe Hennig, I assume, passed on to CURT Hennig, because I see it in your style also.
Well, I think your confidence, you're only as tough as your confidence and your win. Once you run out of either one of them, you might as well kiss the match goodbye, and that's what professional wrestling's all about, is to win.
Well, Larry the Axe Hennig is just taunting now. This Boris BREZNIKOV, as he was known back then. Another thing, similar already in the careers of you and your father. Your father was tag team champion in the AWA. First, as I recall, with, well, I don't know who came first, but I know that he was a tag team champion with Harley Race and also with luscious Lars Anderson.
That's right, Larry. You know, my father with Harley Race, my father blew his knee out in 1968, I believe when it was. That ended that career between them two, the relationship. But at that time, they were world heavyweight champions and has been quoted by Bill Apter and all the main magazines, Pro Wrestling Illustrated, as the most toughest, roughest tag team that has ever been.
Well, if you look, now look, I don't know how big Boris BREZNIKOV, had to be about 300 pounds there. And Larry the Axe lifting him up and throwing him down like it's just easy, like there's no problem to it.
There it is. That is the axe. That's the patent axe right there. This is the one I use in my match. I don't have quite the power he has behind it. So what I do is set the guy up with the axe, then I come off the second rope with the big drop kick.
Well, he nailed him with it again, and it looks like it's just about lights out. And here comes Bobby the Brain Heenan, who you've had some run-ins, but he's not going to make it. Your father seemed to be waiting on him.
Uh-oh, here we go.
Yeah.
You better clear out of the ring now.
Well, it's ironic that you're sitting here next to me. That is basically the same Sneaky Pete situation that cost you the tag team belt.
Things never change in professional wrestling, but I'm going to tell you one thing that is going to change. Yes, there it is. There is the axe. Bobby Heenan, for his little remarks and what he had, his little tactics there, has paid the price, and there you see him.